Dave's mom is now stepping into the spotlight. Her name is Virginia Hanlon Grohl. She's sharing personal stories about her son's rise to stardom. She spoke with mothers of more than a dozen music icons, including Pharrell Williams, Kelly Clarkson, Miranda Lambert, Dr. Dre, Josh Groban. In her new book, it's called From Cradle to Stage, Stories from the Mothers Who Rocked and Raised Rock Stars. Great title, too. Norah and I were talking about you. Virginia Hanlon Grohl and Dave Grohl join us both at the table. Welcome to you both.
Yeah, welcome.
Mother and
Thank
son.
you so much.
Great to have you.
Thank you.
Love
Dave,
being here.
We're so glad you're here. Dave, you wrote the foreword to your mom's book. You said every musician remembers the first lesson where epiphany music is no longer just a sound. And for you, 1975, front seat of the Ford Maverick, you and Virginia Grohl, what happened?
We were on our way to the lake on a summer day, and we were listening to the AM radio, which we always had. And Carly Simon's "You're So Vain" came on the radio. And my mother and I always sang together in the car. And when the chorus came,
I want to hear.
Mick Jagger, you know, he sings on the song.
Yeah.
And so first they share the line, and then there's a line where they split into harmony, right? And so Carly Simon sings, I bet you think this song is about you, don't you? And my mother started singing Mick Jagger's line, so she started singing, don't you,
Let's hear, Mom. Let's
don't
hear.
you.
Don't you,
See?
don't you?
Yeah.
And so right then I realized that two notes sung together like that create harmony, and that creates a chord.
Yeah.
And so from that moment on, every song I heard, I was searching for harmony, and
You said, I want to do that.
I started
aha
listening
moment.
to music, not just hearing it. I started listening
to
it.
music.
Yeah.
Because when you talk to all the moms, Virginia, every mother seemed to have a story like that. You saw a lot of
Right.
similarities with the mothers
Yes.
and their kids, that it was unstoppable. Like what?
And they
What
were
do you mean?
tuned in a different way. They heard sounds that Dre heard the 70s music, and he heard every instrument and every tone and then he, you know, what he did later was just put them all together.
Was there an
take
age
them
where it
apart.
happened for the kids? Did the moms say?
Always, consistently, write this down.
Okay.
12 to 13.
What happened?
And they just declared at that point, music is my life.
12 to 13.
Don't expect me to do anything else.
And you have a chapter called What's a Mother to Do?
Yes.
That's my favorite chapter. It really is. But it makes perfect sense. I mean, you know, my mother, we've been close my entire
can
life.
tell.
She's
Yes.
very cool. She was always she was the cool teacher at our high school. She was a public school teacher for 35 years, so she was the coolest.
Was she so cool that when you began sending her tapes of your music, she loved it?
I don't know if she ever liked it, but she encouraged it to happen.
right.
You know, she was always very supportive. But that was the thing. My mother sang when she was young. She was in a cappella groups.
The Three Bells.
The
Yes.
Three Bells.
Yeah.
And so there was always music around the house. You know, I'd listen to crazy punk rock music, but then we would listen to the Manhattan Transfer together. And then I would listen to David Bowie and Neil Young, but we would listen to Candide together. And so she took me to
And we-
jazz clubs
yeah.
in Washington, D.C. And so it was always very musical.
You said, go ahead,
No,
Charlie.
you know what's interesting to me is I have a lot of friends who've been very successful in other businesses, in other professions.
Right.
They would trade it all in if they could be a rock star.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
I agree.
Not a bad gig.
Not bad gig.
Yeah, I've
I
had
know,
worse
Dave,
jobs.
But talk about that. You're on stage and you look for, as long as your eye can see, thousands of people singing your song and really loving you.
Yeah. It's funny because when you write music, you're writing something that you truly, deeply believe or feel onto like a napkin in your garage, and then you sing it into a microphone, and you wind up at a stadium full of 80,000 people where they're singing it back to you. And there's something about that that bond when that many people join together in the chorus. It's the most powerful feeling.
Oh,
And that's, that's the great satisfaction of being live for the audience.
Right.
Absolutely.
It really brings people
And that's
together.
my favorite thing when I'm watching from the side of the stage, right behind the curtain. I watch the audience, and I watch that energy transfer, and I see them moving and bouncing and smiling and holding up their signs and singing along.
You said your life was changed the first time you heard a crowd scream for your son. But
Right.
you also say this. A lot of the mothers say that they had the conversation. That's where the kids, as Dave came to you and said, I
Right.
want to drop out of school. That happens in a lot of these rock star
Yes.
people.
Yes,
The
because
conversation.
they suddenly, well, not suddenly, but over a long period, school is very difficult. No one is assisting them in their love of this thing they're obsessed with.
You said that's one of your
And
regrets, that you didn't fight for Dave in school.
I could never make that different for him. And I was in the school. I was a part of that whole system, but they had nothing for him.
Yeah.
And everyone liked him.
Yeah.
He got along with the teachers.
Dave, would it have been different if you didn't have the mom you had?
Oh, absolutely, no question. You know, I think that from the age of maybe 9 or 10 when I started playing music, I was so obsessed with it, it became the puzzle where I just wanted to figure out the Beatles song or the Led Zeppelin song. Or I spent most of my time in front of a record player with a guitar in my hand. Had I had a parent that said, pick up your books. Pick up your books.
You're going to be an accountant.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You're going to be a doctor.
You know?
Yeah. No, you know what else is cool? Charlie, she writes in the book, one of the best events that you like is the Kennedy Center Honors.
Oh, yes.
Because you get to meet so many people. And she
I
goes,
love it.
There's Aretha Franklin. Look, Charlie Rose and Colbert just walked by.
That was a moment.
That was a moment.
Yes.
So you talk about the people that you get to meet. The glitter and the glam of this.
All right. Well, I got to meet President Obama at a night when, well, I have a photograph, and it records this. I should have brought it. And it's me with my 3 favorite men in the world: President Obama, Paul McCartney, and my son. And me.
And you.
That's
Right.
a super
That's a
group,
treasure.
by
Yeah,
the way. I don't know.
it was a pretty good night.
This is wonderful, and
Thank
also
you.
it's nice that it comes right before Mother's Day, a reminder too
That's
about
right.
mothers fostering their children's passions.
Perfect
So-
timing.
Thank
so
you.
lovely to
Yeah.
meet you. And what show do you watch every morning?
Well, I watched CBS This Morning. Faithfully, yes.
Thank you.
All right, go home and write another book.
Thank you,
So I can
Virginia
come
Grohl
back.
and Dave Grohl.
Look for Virginia Grohl. There's Charlie Rose.
Yeah, there he is.
From Cradle to Stage
Nicely
is
done.
on sale now.